Hello. Welcome to my video about my nose job. I know you've been waiting for it for so long. The only reason why I'm filming this video is because I watched so many nose job videos before I got mine, looking for like all the information I could possibly gather about like pain, healing time, cost, like things to expect the unexpected type situation. Like I just obsessively watched rhinoplasty recovery videos. And while I don't really have any recovery footage, I'll like maybe insert some photos eventually. I can just tell you what happened to me, and I can describe it in a lot of detail. So like you can kind of know what to expect, if that's helpful, based on the type of surgery that I had, like my age, my health. I don't know. I just feel like maybe those things will be beneficial. And if you, are getting a similar type of nose job to the type that I got, then maybe this will make you feel better. So I put some highlighter on, and I feel like fucking Rudolph now. Like the tip of my nose is so shiny, and I don't have powder because I'm not really like a makeup-y person, so just enjoy my really shiny nose. Oh my god, my camera situation also is so dumb. I'm filming this on my phone with my laptop open behind it, to like hold it up at a good angle in front of my windows, because obviously I don't have like a light or anything like that. So yeah, it's like got a really nice downward angle, really good for my double chin, which will be the next cosmetic procedure that I get taken care of in like 10 years from now, when I can save up another however many thousands of dollars that costs to get chin liposuction. So cool. Okay, so I'm 28 years old. I probably have been saving, like I saved really, really, really hard for my rhinoplasty in like the last 2 years, but I had been like kind of saving for maybe, I don't know, like probably like 10 years, I would say. I was like trying to build up the account. I'm gonna sneeze, which I was so scared to do, excuse me, for so long, because I was like, it's gonna break the nose, it's fine. Yeah, I got rhinoplasty done. Jesus, where do I even start? I'm like all over the place with this, and I'm not gonna edit it in like Trisha Paytas style. I know that about myself. Okay, I got my rhinoplasty done in Toronto, Ontario, at the Dr. Solomon Facial Plastic Clinic. I went there because I had another friend who got her nose done by Dr. Solomon. I think that she did the same thing that I did. There's two options when you go to Dr. Solomon's clinic. You can get it done at the private clinic in Thornhill, or you can get it done, look, my fucking thing is like moving. Or you can get it done in a hospital. So she got it done in a hospital, so I also got it done in a hospital. And we both did that for the same reason. I don't know, I was like, God forbid anything bad happens, like I want to be at a hospital, you know? But I mean, like, I guess the fact that they even just do them at like a private clinic that they have, it makes me feel like it's a pretty easy procedure. Like, I'm not a surgeon, but actually I'll speak on something a nurse told me later that made me feel a lot more comfortable the day of my surgery. So I had my consultation about a year ago, and they gave me my price quote for the type of surgery that I was going to be getting. So I was getting a rhinoplasty, cosmetic rhinoplasty, as well as a septioplasty. Make the nasal passages bigger so I could breathe better. And I always had breathing problems when I was little. I always had like sinus infections and stuff, and like I couldn't breathe so good through my nose. And I don't know what was going on up there. Like, I remember going to the doctor when I was little, and they actually were like, your nasal passages are like the wrong shape. They're like weirdly shaped. So that's why you have all these nose problems. And they were like, we can give you surgery for it, but like you have to wait until your face is pretty much finished developing by at 12 years old or whatever. And then I was only eligible for the surgery, I think, up until I was like 16 years old. And then after that, I wasn't able to get it. The ghost opened the door. I wasn't able to get it without having to pay for it. And then, I don't know, I was like, it was just, I wanted it, but my parents, my mom was like, not really about like getting me that nose job, even though I really wanted it. So I just privately and secretly wanted a nose job for like literally my entire life, because with like my weird shaped nasal passages, I just had a really wide bridge. It was just like, I don't know, so when I went for my consultation, I was like, I have a really wide bridge. I don't like that. And also my nose was crooked because I had broken it in a bike accident. I had broken it twice, actually. And it was really fucked, like from one side. From this side, my left side always used to be my bad side, because I had hit it on the left side, and then it like shifted my bridge over this way. So it made this weird like C-shaped curve. So then when you would look at me from this side, it looked like curved, like it looked fucking like a C going this way. And I just thought it was so fugly. I hated it so much. And it was weird though, because it kind of made it like pointier on my right side. So like after I broke my nose the first time, my right side profile, I feel like improved very strangely. So if I would talk to you, I would always be like, what's up? Like talking to you like this on this side. And I felt so uncomfortable sitting in cars next to people, because, if you're in the passenger side, then driver is looking at you, and then I'd always be like, like trying to look at people straight on, and it just made me feel like shit. And I actually rewatched a video the other day from my friend's wedding, which was like 3 years ago, I guess. So before I had the surgery. And there's like all this footage of me, and like I look so pretty, like wearing a nice outfit. Ooh, my makeup looks good. And then I'm like looking from the left, and I was like, ah! Like it just looks so bad. Maybe I can insert some of that footage. That'll be like my little edit, is like putting in some of the bad times pics and vids. So I went for my consultation, and I was like, I just want to straighten the bridge. I want to narrow the bridge. I don't want to touch the tip at all, because I thought the tip of my nose is actually like really cute. I still think it is really, really cute. And it's still kind of swollen. So I'm really looking at it now. It's still kind of swollen because it feels numb. Like when I touch it here, I can't feel it. Like it feels like when you've been out in the cold for like a whole entire day. And there's no feeling in your fucking cheeks or whatever. And then you like brush your cheek and you're like, oh, I feel like there's like pressure there. But like, that's it. I just feel the pressure. Like I don't feel any sensation, Like I bet you if I poked like a fucking pin in my nose, I wouldn't feel it. So yeah, don't do anything to the tip. We like the tip. It's still numb because when they did it, they go into this, I guess, my septum. Because originally they said I was gonna have an open rhinoplasty, which I was really freaked out about, because when they do open rhinoplasty, they cut under here and then like lift your skin up and then like do their stuff up there. And I was like, that just sounds like more intense healing time. And I also didn't really want to have a little scar there, but they said that would be better. So I just trusted them. And my consultation at Dr. Solomon's office was really fast, honestly. Like I went in there, and luckily I knew what I wanted to do, and I was very sure about what I wanted to do. And then they were like, do you want to breathe better? Okay, cool. We'll do a septoplasty also, as well as the rhinoplasty. And I met Dr. Solomon and I was like, hey, like, this is what I want to do. And then he was like, okay, cool. Here's your paperwork. Like, when you're ready to make a deposit, then come back. So then I waited for like 9 months, and then I made my appointment, paid my fee. And then I went in for my like before and after photos, and that's when you talk in more in depth about what you're going to do. But that consultation was also like just a couple minutes, because I guess, I don't know, like the guy just does it all the time. So he's very confident about his work, and like justifiably so, because, or like rightfully so, because he fucking did an amazing job. Like, I'm shook by how my nose looks now compared to how it was before. Anyways, so yeah. I went in for a quick my second consultation. They did the before photos. He just talked to me more about like what I wanted to do, and I was feeling very like emotional that day. And I was like, I remember saying to him, same thing, make the bridge less wide, make it straight, not crooked anymore. And then I was like, oh, also, like, do you think, I don't want to touch the tip? And he was like, I don't think you should touch the tip. I don't think we should operate on the tip either, because it's very nice looking, has like good articulation. You can kind of see it. It's like coming back here. It like has like these little lines. Looks nice and like pointy. Yeah, he was like, don't want to do anything on the tip. But I was like, maybe you can just like make it just be very cohesive from here to here, just because I don't want to have this like big freaking ball on the end of my nose and then like a tiny little bridge. You know what? I contoured my nose a little bit today too, just because I was like, fuck it, put some makeup on. And I'm seeing now that I didn't do a very good job, because it's making the bridge look like way smaller than it actually is. I should take off this makeup and then show you actually me taking off my makeup. Okay. I feel like that looks a little bit more realistic to what my nose actually looks like. Looks even better. I don't know how to do makeup. I also used to over contour my nose too, because I felt so shitty about it. But I guess I'm seeing now that I don't need to do that, because it just looks bomb as fuck on its own. Cool. Yeah, it looks even better. You don't need to contour the nose. It's crazy. Okay, cool. So I said, connect this John here, this to this, make it look nice and sleek. We don't want to have a little narrow up here and then like a big ol' John down there. And then I remember him being like, okay, cool, yep, no problem, got you. Just remind me the morning of surgery. And I was like, wait, remind you the morning of surgery? And then he was like, yeah, like just remind me. And I was like, what? Like, how can I, like, don't you have to plan for that kind of stuff? I guess the answer is no. Because I did do that when I went in the morning of my surgery. The nurses, okay, we can just fast forward, I guess, a little bit. So after my consultation, I was just like a sitting duck, you know, like waiting for my surgery. And I had to move my surgery about like 6 weeks forward from the originally scheduled date, because I got really sick. I got pneumonia. Like, I was gonna have surgery at the beginning of January. And I remember actually the day that I was leaving my second consultation, which was like the middle end of December, I was feeling really weird. Like, I was feeling, they were like, okay, like, try not to get sick and stay really healthy and blah, blah, blah. And then in my mind, I was like, don't get sick, don't get sick, don't get sick. If you get sick, you're going to screw all this up and you're not going to be able to get your surgery and blah, blah, blah. And I think I like stressed myself out into actually getting sick, because literally as I was leaving the clinic's office, I was like, I feel like I'm going to get sick. And then I did. I got insanely sick. Like, it was really, really, really bad. But then they were amazing about it at Solomon's. They were like, cool, you've got pneumonia, definitely not giving you surgery. You need to have been healthy for 6 weeks before we can do it. And I was so worried, because I was like, they're gonna put the breathing tube in me. Like, what if I can't breathe properly? I I'd never had major surgery before, so I really had no idea what the hell I was doing or getting myself into. I had no idea what to expect. But they were so like, yes, of course, you just won't have the surgery if you've been sick. Like, duh. We'll just push it 6 weeks from now. And that's what I did. So I got it done like beginning, middle-ish of February this past year. Yeah, only like a month ago. Crazy. So, and then I wasn't sick anymore, which was awesome. And I just did everything they told me to do. I thought I was doing everything wrong. Like I was taking everything very seriously. You know, they're like, don't take garlic oil. They give you a package with like all of your pre-surgery instructions and stuff. And they're like, on the package, it says things like, don't take garlic oil. That's what it said on my package, at least. I don't know what it's gonna say on yours. But then I remember calling the surgeon's office and being like, I've been eating a lot of garlic. Like, is that the same thing? And they were like, no, just don't eat garlic oil, I guess. Still don't know why. But yeah, just listen to what they have to say. And then I had a whole debacle where like I forgot to do my blood work. I had to get blood work done like a week before and send it to the surgery, like to the hospital where the surgery was going to happen at. And then my surgery was going to happen on a Monday. And they called me on a Friday. And they were like, babe, where's your blood work? And I was like, oh my God, I don't know how I just totally forgot to do that. And in my mind, I was like, if I forgot this one really big important thing, what else have I forgotten? Like, oh my God, like what? I'm screwing this up. Like, I just don't know what I'm doing. But the truth is like, read your paperwork that they give you for all the pre-surgery instructions very, very, very carefully. The blood work paper that I had, I think I just looked at it and I was like, I don't know what this is. And I just put it away. But what I should have done was called the surgeon's office and been like, hey, I don't know what this is. Like, is this something I need to worry about? You know? And they would have been like, blah, 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 blah. Yes. So yeah, like they were really responsive every time I called and like had a question or something. So I don't know why I just didn't ask more questions. That's on me. But everything was still totally fine. Got the blood work to the office, surgeon's office on the Friday. And then they even told me, they were like, if you couldn't do it on Friday, like we would have just done it in the morning before your surgery, but then maybe that would have pushed my surgery time back. I'm not really sure. But they're not going to do surgery on you, at least at Dr. Solomon's, unless you get your blood work done. Duh. So yeah, sorry, I'm just like distracted moving stuff around on my bed. So I was obviously nervous leading up to it because I had never had surgery where they put you completely to sleep, and I really didn't know what that was going to be like. And that's the thing that I was most scared about. I was like, I can handle the pain. I can handle if it doesn't even look good afterwards. Like, I'm just so scared about being put to sleep. But then, like, honestly, the day before, or a little while before first, I had called the office and I had been like, I'm really scared. Like, could someone talk to me about my fears? And the woman I spoke to on the phone was so nice. She was like, I got my nose done in like the 90s or something, or 20 years ago, she said. And she was like, I was also really scared, but I haven't looked back since. Like, I'm so happy that I got it done. You have nothing to be afraid of. They do this surgery every other day. Like, surgery is so common. And that made me feel better. And I talked about it with my therapist too. And my therapist was like, I understand your feelings of, you know, how it's like, it is a big deal, because it is a big deal. Her exact words were, surgery is a big deal, but it happens every single day. And I was like, true. It happens every single day. It just doesn't happen every single day to me. But to people who are performing the surgeries, it's just business for them. And all that stuff, I was like, honestly, like, everyone's really reassuring me, and I just really need to let go and let God at this point. And like, roll the fucking dice. That's what another person said to me too. Another friend of mine had gotten top surgery in the States, and they were like, I was like, were you scared? You know, like, because we had our surgeries just a couple weeks apart. And they were like, no, I wasn't scared. Like, life is a gamble. Roll the dice. Like, do what you want to do. You worked really hard to get this. You should feel happy. And like, I don't know, now that after I've gone through the experience and just how easy it is being put to sleep, like, God willing, nothing bad like that ever happens. But I mean, you just go to sleep, like, you're just asleep. So God forbid anything bad were to ever happen, like, you're just asleep. I actually asked on my first consultation ever, when I just went to get like my price quote and whatever, one of the nurses like, yeah, does anything bad ever happen? Like, I don't even think I could ask the full question, like, has anyone ever died from surgery at your clinic? I was like, has anything bad ever happened? And then she was like, oh, do you mean like, has someone not woken up from the anesthesia? And I was like, yeah. And she was like, no, like, just like, no, period. I don't know. I hope that's true. But yeah, so I wasn't nervous. Like, the night before, I was like, I just got to get some sleep, because if I go into this without having had any sleep, then I'm going to feel really stressed. My stress made me sick originally. And I want to be healthy going into this. So I actually fell asleep, and I got maybe like 5 hours of sleep, because I had to be at the hospital, which is about like an hour drive away from my house, at like 7:30 in the morning or something. So my dad drove me, God bless him. He helped me so much, and he was so supportive. I literally don't know how I would have done this without my dad. He drove me to the hospital, and then like everyone was just so nice at the hospital, just like being very sweet to me. The nurses were like going over my chart, checking off like my history of medical stuff. No one in my family had ever had like an intense reaction to anesthesia, and so I was like, hopefully I won't either. But they were going over all that medical stuff, and there was actually like another young girl in the same waiting room, with her dad as well. And I was the second surgery of the day, and she, I guess, was the first. And like when they called her name to get in, we like looked at each other, and I was like, you're gonna be great. And she was like, so are you. And it made me feel a lot better. I don't know if that would have happened at a private clinic, because I think at the private clinic it's all like like you're in your own little zone. But I thought it was nice to be amongst other people, because it just kind of made me feel like, wow, lots of people are getting all kinds of surgeries. So I started to kind of like trip out then, because then I'm like in the hospital gown, and then you're just kind of waiting around forever. And then I'm like sitting with my dad. They like walk us over to this little area that's like the pre-surgery operating zone, and you're in like a little cubicle kind of thing. And I can like see Dr. Solomon over there, like down the hallway, and I'm like, it's just about to happen right over there. And so I'm just hanging with my dad. The anesthesiologist came over to talk to us, introduce himself, tell me what they were gonna do. So they put the tube in your trachea. So the tube is putting the air into your lungs, and the machine is like, I guess, making your lungs breathe for you, which I'm so glad that I knew that was gonna happen, because I was like, ah, at first. But then the anesthesiologist was just like, this is how you breathe, it's gonna be great. But then the one thing that he said that I was like crazy, he was like, we put like a dish in your throat, so it stops like any blood from going into your stomach and making you sick when you wake up. So just crazy to think about, like, me lying there, like, with like a freaking dish in my throat and a tube going into my trachea and a machine making my lungs work. I don't know, it's insane. I forced myself to watch a lot of surgery videos also, like videos of people actually getting their freaking, nose hammered and like their skin lifted up. And I don't like that kind of stuff. Like, I'm kind of squeamish, but I forced myself to watch it, because I was like, I need to know what is going to happen to my body. Because I want to be able to tell my body and myself, I have permission for these things to happen to me. Like, I found that was really helpful too. I had got this advice from a friend, because she had a different type of surgery, and she was like, had seen some other doctor, and her advice had been like, have a little time with yourself and say to yourself, I give myself permission to be cut up with a knife, and I give myself permission to be hit with a chisel. And I give my body permission to have these things happen to it. Like, I'm consenting to these specific things happening to my body, and I'm also consenting to my body to heal from these things too. And I don't know, like, if that really helped, but I just said that to myself a lot. And I think psychologically it did something where I didn't just wake up and I was like, I'm in so much pain and I don't know why, you know? So after we met the anesthesiologist, then it was like, okay, it's happening now. And then the nurse comes over. Oh, I have these like gold things on my teeth too. And my dad brought it up to me. He was like, is that a problem? Because you have to take out all your jewelry. And they were like, well, like, you know, there's like hot tools that like cauterize your veins and like cauterize the wounds and stuff, and like we just can't have any metal around, because I guess it, like, if the hot tool like touched the metal, then it conducts the heat and it can burn you. And I was like, oh my god, okay, well, these things are permanent, so I guess just hopefully don't like hopefully no hot tools go in my mouth, but anything can happen, you know? So yeah. So then they were like, time for your surgery. And then I'm walking with the nurse into the room. Like, I just walked into the operating room. I think she was holding my arm, because as soon as I stood up, I was like, I think I'm going to faint. And what the nurse was like, oh, don't faint. And I was like, I don't know. Yeah, I think I'm going to faint. And she was like, well, the ground is very hard. And I was like, yeah, I guess. So we go into the operating room, and it's just like in the TV shows, like the big round circular lights above you. And they're like, okay, please lay it down on the operating table. So I lay down on the operating table, and then I'm laying there, and then I got the anesthesiologist that I just met over here putting some stuff in my hands. And then I started to get really freaked out, because I had been like, I need to talk to Dr. Solomon before I go to sleep. They had told me to like say this to the nurses, because I had said, they had asked me originally, like, did you talk to Dr. Solomon already today? And I was like, no, but I have to remind him to connect my bridge to the tip of my nose in like a nice cohesive way. He asked me to remind him. And then actually the nurse earlier, when I had said I need to talk to the surgeon to say this thing, she was like, oh yeah, really normal. He says that to people all the time. And I was like, cool, that's just how the guy does his business. So I was like, gotta talk to Dr. Solomon before I go to sleep. And then he came over, and he was like so nice. He smiled at me so warmly. He was just like, hey, how are you? Great already? Like, everything's gonna be great. And then I was like, yes, I just need to remind you of one thing. And I was about to be like, oh, I just didn't say one thing. And I was gonna say this part. And then he was like, do you want to do the nostrils? Like, is that it? Like, do you want to edit the nostrils? And I was like, no, we never talked about that. Like, I'm just reminding you what we talked about in the consultation. And then he was like, oh yeah. And then that was it. And he just like went to do something over here. And I was like, oh my God, like, that's it. And then the anesthesiologist is like putting the thing in my hand. He's like, okay, you're gonna start feeling the medicine going into you. Now it's gonna burn a little bit, or like feel cold. And I guess it did a little bit, but it wasn't bad. Wasn't bad at all. I was really expecting it to hurt, because some people say like when the medicine goes in you, it really hurts your muscles, but it was fine. But then I started to cry. And they put an oxygen mask on me, and the nurse was like, why are you crying? And I was like, I don't know, I'm just scared. And then she was like, the last thing I remember her saying was, don't be scared, just let go. And then I said, I don't want to be sad when I wake up, or I don't want to be upset when I wake up. And she was like, it's too late, just let go. And then it was like in a cartoon where when someone's like falling asleep with like gas or something, like the whole room was like, woo, like it just all swirled actually. And then that was just totally it. And then I was dreaming while I was asleep. And the only reason why I know I was dreaming was because when I started to come out of my sleep, I guess I was like moving around, and then I heard a nurse say, "Don't touch your nose, don't touch your face." And I could hear that while my eyes were still closed, and I was coming out of the dream that I was having. And in the dream, I was walking with one of my really good friends, like across a parking lot in the summertime. And I know that it had been part of a longer dream, but crazy that like I was dreaming stuff. I guess it was a nice dream. So anyways, I woke up and she was like, "Don't touch your face." And I couldn't open my eyes at first. They were just like really heavy. And I'm like remembering now exactly what happened. I was slowly opening my eyes, very, very, very slowly. And I felt super relaxed. I didn't feel scared. I just was chilling. Like I felt totally fine. I didn't feel good, but I didn't feel bad. I just felt like true neutral, sedated neutral. And then I was like, oh yeah, like I had surgery. Like I'm opening my eyes and looking at another person recovering across from me in the recovery room, just laying on a bed. And I was like, okay, like it's over. And then I could hear the nurse talking, and I was like, a little comfort would be good. So I like reached out my hand to like feel for where she was, and I reached for her arm, and then she held my hand. Then she was like, "Do you want some Jello?" And I was like, okay. And then she was like, "Do you want a Freezy?" And then she brought me a Freezy. So I'm like eating my little Freezy. I don't feel anything on my face. And then maybe like 10 minutes go by, and then I was like, I feel something, and it feels bad. Just felt like I had an insane headache, and I was so thirsty. I was so fucking thirsty. I was like, I need water so bad, because I couldn't eat or drink anything. And I guess maybe the tube thing makes you dehydrated. You're like not swallowing. So my throat was so dry. That was the most stressful part, was just being so thirsty and the throat being so dry. And I was just like, yeah, like freezy water or something. And I was like, yo, I have a crazy, 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 crazy headache. And I guess, yeah, it hurt like in here in a weird way, like kind of here, which makes sense because I guess I got the septoplasty when they make the holes wider up there. And then she was like, cool, we'll give you the hydromorph drip. And I was like, nice. So they gave me that. So I'm hanging out in the recovery room now. And then after a little while, they were like, I was kind of like more up, just kept asking for things to drink. And they were like, cool, we're going to take you to see your dad. But this whole time, like, I felt like my muscles were relaxed. I was just like laying on the bed. Honestly, I was all good. They take me out to see my dad. And then I was like, Dad. And I think I started to cry because that's when I was like, oh, this is real. It's really happening. It's happened, like it's done, basically. And then I was like, Dad, take a picture of me. Because I wanted to see what I looked like. And I looked fine. Already, I had like some bruising on my left side. And my left side was like, I think they like went in more on this side. I don't know. But yeah, I had some bruising already, and I had my little cast on. I was just looking cute, honestly, like not really that bad. And then I just hung out with my dad for like, I think I was there for kind of a while actually. And I started to feel really sick. Like I started to feel hella sick. And it was really strange. Like I kind of thought I would start feeling better, but obviously not. Like I had just fucking woken up out of surgery. So I started to feel a little woozy, and I was like, I want to go home. And the nurse was like, your vitals are totally fine. Like oxygen level's fine. Whenever you're ready to go home, you can go home. But they also said I could stay for as long as I wanted to. God bless the people of Mackenzie Health. Like they were amazing. They were all so freaking nice. And eventually when I was ready to go, I got all my stuff together, and the nurse helped me get dressed. And then another nurse in a wheelchair like pushed me out, and I had my phone with me, and I was like, I kind of like pulled up my phone to look at something, and the nurse was like, ooh, you don't want to do that. Like, did no one tell you your phone is gonna make you feel really sick? And I was like, no. And he was like, yeah, I believe he said like the radiation from your phone is not good for you after you have surgery on your face. And I was like, what? And then he said, you're also going to feel nauseous looking at your phone. And I guess it's from like having like, so, I don't know, pressure on my nose, and like I could see my cast a little bit. So it was just constantly like making me feel cross-eyed. But it's true. I couldn't look at my phone. Like it made me feel so dizzy. Like I had vertigo when I would look at my phone. And I was like, no, what am I gonna do? Even like watching TV for the first couple of days, I was like, I really don't feel good. So I was just so friggin' thirsty, and my dad pulls the car around and we're gonna drive back to his house so I can just like chill there for a day because you can't be alone for the first day. And this is when the shit really hit the fan for me. I was like, I need a friggin', I have to stop swearing. I need a friggin' Gatorade. That's all I wanted. I was like, I'm so thirsty. I feel so dehydrated. I need to get a Gatorade. So I'm drinking the Gatorade in the car, and we're like bumping along in the car. Very, very bumpy ride down Bathurst. And I was like, I am sick. Like I feel really, 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 really nauseous. So nauseous. It was really bad. And then I was laying in the car with my eyes closed, and I was just like, ooh, Dad, like this is really bad. He's like, okay, like we're gonna get home as fast as possible. And then I'm getting out of the car. He's like, okay, you stand by the entrance to his apartment building. And he's like, you stand here. I'm gonna go park the car and come back and get you. And as soon as I got out of the car, I stood up, and I had a bag for throwing up, but like I couldn't even pull out the bag. I just like projectile vomited blue Gatorade. Like when I say projectile, I want you to know that I did not bend over. I didn't bend my head over. I didn't like even have to hold back my hair or nothing like that. None of the vomit got anywhere on me at all. It's not like I was like, bleh. I could see it like shoot out of my freaking mouth, just like, ah! I saw it like go like up practically, and then just like hit the floor in front of me. And then I was just crying and moaning. Because I was just so thirsty. And then I was like, no, I just threw up all of the stuff that I was drinking. I'm going to be even more thirsty now. And then it was just like this insane struggle for the first, I don't even know how long, like the first whole day and night to try and keep anything down. I was just drinking liquids, vomiting, drinking liquids, vomiting, drinking liquids, vomiting. It was so awful. That was so awful. And every time I would vomit, my nose would start to bleed. It was so scary. Like, it was really, that was not cool. And I couldn't pee. And I heard that it's hard to pee because the anesthesia freezes all of your muscles. And I guess your bladder is a muscle. Or maybe I couldn't pee because I just didn't have any friggin' liquids inside of me. But I just felt so crazy because I hadn't freaking peed. And I don't know, I was like, I want to get the anesthetic out of me so badly because I know that's what was making me sick. But I couldn't like pee it out of me. So it was really scary. And then my dad called the hospital and was like, yo, my kid keeps vomiting. Like, is this bad? And then the people at the hospital were like, oh, just get some Gravol. And then as soon as I took the Gravol, I was fine. I was totally fine. So if you're getting a nose job, you need to get yourself some Gravol. That's my hottest tip for you. And I slept sitting up. I slept sitting up for the first like 2 weeks, I guess. I got this sick pillow that my friend gave me. Check it out. Whoa. Sorry about that. Oh yeah, I forgot that this is on my laptop. I got the sweet pillow that I'm still using because it's really comfortable. To help me stay upright. I'm gonna get back in action here. Yeah. I slept sitting up, taking my gravel, taking my pills. I think the first day, like, I was so out of it and I had barfed up some medication that I had taken. I honestly don't think I took my medication exactly perfectly at the same time at all. Like, I really tried. I was really trying to be adamant about it, but you have to take so many pills. Like, you're taking Advils, and I got these arnica pills to help with swelling and stuff. Like really heavy duty surgery grade ones from Dr. Solomon's office, and my antibiotics. And it was like I would just be asleep for so long, and then I would have to remember to take a pill. Like, I was only awake for like 6 hours a day for the first couple of days, just because I was like, I just want to sleep this thing off. So yeah, it was a little weird having to take all that stuff, but I just took Advil. I have a prescription for T4s. I don't do drugs or drink alcohol. I'm like sober in recovery. And I was like, okay, I'll fill the prescription because if I'm in a lot of pain, like, I'm gonna need to deal with the pain, I guess. But I did not take one T4. Not once. I didn't need to. The pain wasn't that bad. Pain was not that bad. Not at all. I just felt this weird pressure on my nose. It just felt like have you ever been punched in the face before? I have. But it just felt like after you've been punched and there's kind of like that dull pressure with a bit of a sting, like I just had that constantly, and I was just exhausted. Like, I was just so zonked, and I had really bad black eyes. But after the first day of vomiting, not really any blood coming out of my nose. Like, I had a little drip pad that I wore for like the first day, and then I didn't even really wear it after that because I didn't need to. I was really confused with the drip pad, actually, when I was watching people's videos about getting nose jobs. Because I was like, how do you know when to change it? Like, how does that work? And they show you at the hospital how to do it. And they give you stuff for it also. Like, you don't need to go out and buy like the right kind of equipment. I don't know. Maybe you'll have to. I didn't have to. So the healing process was really just like, I just friggin' chilled, took my pills. I had no energy. That was really the sad thing, was that I just didn't feel like myself. I'm a super energetic person. And I would just remember like kind of walking around my house being like, when will I ever feel this way again? Or when will I feel like myself again? And yeah, that was hard. That was just really hard, like, mentally. But I felt so good in this other way where I was like, I did it. Like, I did it. And soon I'm going to see what it looks like. Because I had the cast on and everything. I had no idea what it was going to look like in here, under here, until I got my cast taken off. And I got my cast taken off 10 days after my surgery. No, I got it taken off 8 days after I had the surgery. I had dissolving stitches inside my nose, and they all dissolved, but I was going insane because they were freaking like stabbing me in there. And then one day, actually, I could like see one in this nostril, and I was like, oh man, maybe I can just like eat that out. And then I pulled out like a big stitch, and I was like, that seems bad, because whatever that was holding together, it's not holding together in there anymore. I don't know what's going on in there, but I think it seems fine. I haven't been able to go for my 6-week post-op appointment. It's supposed to be on April 3rd, but obviously because like hospitals and stuff are all closed, for all non-essential surgeries are not being allowed to happen right now because of COVID. I'm not going to my appointment, so I won't be able to know exactly what's going on in there for a while. But it's okay because everything feels fine. I can't believe it. Like, I feel like it just basically happened overnight. Like, the whole first week I had some black eyes. I was really, 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 really swollen. Like, my cheeks were really swollen. My upper lip was swollen. It was so funny. Like It was swollen like, I don't even know, like that. It kind of looked like. It looked like this. And I couldn't really, like when I tried to talk or laugh, like this was swollen down. So I would be like, ha 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 ha. That was wild. But then literally, I think after about, I want to say 5 weeks, that's when I was like, the swelling is better. The pain, like I had that weird, being hit in the face feeling for the whole time up until about 5 weeks in. And now I don't really notice it very much. But my nose does still like fluctuate in swelling. Like I could still tell I'm pretty swollen here, and it feels sensitive still. I don't like washing my nose, like when I wash my face, because yeah, all this feels it feels horrible to touch it here, to be honest with you, because of the numbness. What else can I tell you? I've been talking for 46 minutes. I know this is going to be like an hour-long video, so God bless you if you've gotten this far. But in the end, oh my God, I can't believe I almost forgot this part. So they said they wanted to give me open rhinoplasty. They didn't. I had a closed rhinoplasty in the end. I don't know why. I was planning on asking when I had my 6-week follow-up, but I guess I'll have to find out later. I don't know why they did it closed in the end. I'm glad. I'm really glad. I think that really helped with my healing. I think I healed a lot faster, and because I didn't have stitches down here or anything. I don't really know. Like a lot of this is still kind of a mystery to me as to like what they did, how they freaking got in there. I know when I touch here, sorry, I know I had stitches like right where a septum piercing would be. And now like I feel like I've got like some scar tissue situation happening there. Oh my God, I'm gonna sneeze because I just freaking wiggled on my nose. Jesus. Yeah, so they straightened it. They took down the bridge. They took down the width here. My God, it's just so crazy to like touch my nose now and to feel the difference. Oh my God, it just feels amazing. Dr. Solomon is literally a genius. I can't believe I look the same. I look like me completely, but just this like better, like, yeah, better. Sorry. I feel like I look better. I got this to look better. So what am I trying to be, like, better? Yeah. I look like a better version of myself, my actual self. I'm just so amazed. And then actually, one of the other things the nurses said to me, like when I got into the operating room, because I was like, I'm gonna faint, you know, I'm so freaked out. She was trying to talk to me just about like stuff to make me feel better. And I can't remember if it was when Solomon was like just going over what I wanted again, or if she was asking me, but then she was like, oh, a subtle change, something different. And I was like, I guess so. Yeah, because it is a subtle change. Like all this stuff down here is still the same. It's just all up in here, which for me, that was my problem area. So, okay, let's look at it. Let's take a look. I'm so glad I wiped off my insane contouring. Please don't make fun of me for that. Wow. You can hear my roommate talking in the background. It's just, I'm amazed. Oh my God, it's just so amazing. I will definitely find some videos or photos of my before situation. yeah, Dr. Solomon is a genius. I highly, 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 highly recommend going to him if you live in Toronto or Ontario, or if you're planning on traveling for your surgery, come and get it done there, because I mean, his work, it just speaks for itself at the end of the day. Like, that's what matters the most. The private clinic, like, it looks really, really, really nice. So if you want to go there, go there. But I was so happy with my hospital experience at Mackenzie Health. All the nurses and everyone there were just so awesome. Yeah, it was just like professional. I don't know what else to say, guys. I just can't believe I was so worked up about going to sleep under the anesthetic. And I also just really am like, whoa, it's crazy to put the future of your whole face in the hands of a stranger, basically. And to be like, hey, hope I look good when I wake up, because you have the cast on for like a week. And that was like the other hurdle, you know, aside from like the tiredness, the not feeling like myself. You don't really feel like yourself after surgery. I guess too, like, it can have kind of an emotional impact on you. But I'm just like crying all the time anyways. So I don't know. But I felt grounded. I felt like I had made this amazing, beautiful decision for myself. I feel like I was taking ownership over my life, like agency over my life. I'm so happy that I did it. I feel like I was old enough and like mature enough to really appreciate what I was doing and like why I was doing it. I paid for it all myself. Yeah, I don't know what else there is to say about it. And it's surgery. Like, you're gonna be for sure bruised and it's gonna look sketchy, but it's so worth it. It's so worth it. So yeah, cheers to you if you're planning on getting a rhinoplasty. It's definitely no small feat, but it's gonna make your life so awesome. So if you have any questions, I don't know how to contact me. I guess DM me on Instagram. Bye.